Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
We were lucky enough to go down to Surrey Hills to the police headquarters there, and we got a magnificent tour by the Police Commissioner Karen Webb, and she joins us this morning. Welcome, Police Commissioner.
Great to be here. Thank
Good to have the head of the force here, just to pull things into order a little bit.
Thank you for showing us around as well. It was fascinating there.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It really
just to
is.
see how it works from the call takers right through to down to the cells if you end up in that position.
But the
all
amount of
those
people that also, with huge events that you have, like New Year's Eve or any events like that, and how you guys have eyes on the whole of the city.
know.
the
that's
police
what-
operations centre.
Yeah.
Oh, that was quite interesting,
It gets
wasn't it? You start to think, I can't go anywhere.
There's cameras everywhere. Someone's watching.
Yeah, no, but I found it really interesting too, because it is a building that you will often drive past when you're in Sydney, and you just it's another world, you know. That really, as far as the police force goes, it's what you read in the paper and the odd story about what you're doing wrong or right, or you know what you're being fed by the media. But to actually be on the inside and realise that the people doing the job every day are human beings I found really
doing
interesting.
A great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Commissioner, I thought also very personable. So for all the police officers and the staff, you kind of forget that I think a lot of people think there's the law and there's the public, and that's what you were suggesting, Kate, was that there's the human side to everybody within the force.
That's right. Well, we're just members of our community doing the job that we're charged to do, upholding the laws of New South Wales. So we're just a microcosm of the community.
And you need more police commissioner,
We do.
don't you? You
We
do.
do.
And this is a great initiative that you're doing. So police trainees studying at the Goulburn Police Academy will be paid and receive a salary of $30,000 over their 16-week study period. This is awesome for anyone that wants to become a police officer.
That's right. You can finish one job on Friday and start with us on Sunday and be paid.
Great.
Okay,
amazing.
and that's a whole brand new initiative, just as an incentive to get people involved.
That's right.
Yeah.
It had been done many years ago. In fact, I was paid when I was trained, but we haven't done it for 25 years. So it's nice to bring it back.
Can you tell us about some of the people? I love these stories of, and it's not just, it doesn't have to be young men or women that are coming out of school that want to be a police officer. People of all ages.
All ages. And this incentive is about opening it up to those people that may have always wanted to be a police officer and had some barriers in place. They might have commitments and families, and it's a big commitment to pack up and move to Goulburn for 16 weeks.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so hopefully this will break down that barrier and now give those people an opportunity. So the call out is for those people who have thought about a career in the police, this is the perfect time.
Did you tell me just outside the studio that a woman who had 6 children decides, that's it, I want to be a
That's right.
police officer?
She's at the academy currently. I met her on Monday.
Wow.
And she said, I've got 6 kids and it's something she's always wanted to do, and she's got the opportunity. And those people, the students at the academy now, they will be topped up equivalent to the new program from March.
Is she doing that to keep her kids in line, or?
Well, I'm not sure, but
Needs a taser, does she?
I'm sure like the rest of us, it's just that calling that you want to do this job to make a difference.
Yeah, it might be easier to be in Goulburn for 16 weeks than look after 6 kids at home, I would imagine, after the night I had last night at home with one.
Commissioner, can I ask, when do your daily briefing and the police operations, how much are you guys across that we never hear about?
Unfortunately, it's a 24-hour business, 24/7. Things happen all across this state, day in, day out.
And media has no idea, and you're just cleaning it up.
We go about our job quietly, and only parts of it make the media, and rightfully so in most circumstances. But sometimes you don't want to hear it all.
What are the biggest challenges that we are across at the moment? What are we facing in New South Wales?
I think the pervasive thing is domestic violence, mental health. Our calls for service in police responding to mental health is about the same number of domestic violence calls a year, about 140,000 calls a year for domestic violence, but equal number for mental health cases. That's a lot of work.
Commissioner, it's not good enough. It's been 56 deaths this year with domestic violence. And I know that you've been talking about this for a while, but there is talk similar to a strike force raptor or putting a strike force together where you guys go out there and come down really hard on these men that are causing these horrific crimes.
That's right.
Is that going to be ramped up soon?
We do have arrest teams for DV offenders.
Yeah.
They're always arresting offenders, and then we have operations where we just have all boots on the ground type of
Harsher
arrest.
crimes for these men, or is it going to be...
Well, certainly some of the offences are really at that high end where there's awful things such as strangulation and other things. So it's really high end and high risk for victims.
Yeah. How much of that, though, do you think? I mean, there's only... not that there's only so much you guys can do at your level, but I would imagine with domestic violence and the retraining or the re-education or just education of young people generally, and not only young men, but women as well. I mean, don't you think that a lot of that attitude towards women and the attitude around respect for other people generally has to start at a much lower level, so that you're not having to deal with adult offenders? I mean, you need to get this it needs to be in schools.
It's not just a policing problem.
No, it's
not. And it's a whole societal problem. And as you say, it starts at home and it starts in families. And I think the messages can be, at schools and a community and sporting events. Really, it's everyone can play a part.
Yeah.
And I think that's been our messaging. It's not just a policing problem. And I do think everyone can play a part.
We would love to open up the lines. If you've got any question that you want to ask about the law, it could be about anything. If you want the Commissioner to wipe your demerit points right now, this could be your opportunity.
No, she said she wouldn't do that.
Okay, all right. But if there is any question that you have about the law, or if you are thinking about joining the police force yourself
Great
now
idea.
and you've been hesitant, this is your opportunity. Mandy's given us a call from Ingleburn. You have the Commissioner here. What would you like to ask, Mandy?
Hi, I would love to know. I've got 3 boys and they fight all the time about who is allowed to sit in the front seat. I just want to know, what age is a kid allowed to sit in the front seat of a car?
Oh, thank you for that, Mandy. I've got 2 boys and I've had the same issue when they were kids.
Shotgun.
So I empathise.
Don't say shotgun around a police officer.
No, hold up. No, legally, it's, I think, age 7, but regardless of their age, we always encourage you to have them in the back seat. So we'd say, despite their age, and sometimes it's about their size. If they're 7 but still quite small, we'd recommend that they sit in the back.
Yeah, in a restraint. Maybe.
Look, my daughter's always trying to slide into the front
join
seat.
the club.
It's like she's throwing the law at me. I think she's been trying to find out that information as well. I hope she's not listening.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for your call, Mandy. Let's go to Holly in Sylvania. You got the Commissioner. What's your question?
Hi, Commissioner. I was just asking about any fitness requirements in regards to...
That's right. There are fitness requirements, and if you go to our recruiting website, that'll step you through what they are. There's some standard things that people are required to do before they come to us in terms of having a bronze medallion, being able to swim, typing and other things, and then we put them through testing in terms of running and agility,
like a gauntlet? Is it like
and a grip test,
an obstacle course?
An obstacle course and a grip test.
Oh, a
which
grip
is
test.
Interesting. It's not just practicing, on a tennis ball or something. Sometimes it's the way you can lift a weight that helps prepare that muscle. But you can practice it.
Because gone are the days of the guy who just does stakeouts and he just sort of sits in the car eating donuts. He doesn't really exist like that anymore,
that's
does
the
he?
movies.
That's right. But today's officer, I notice they're much healthier and they're very conscious of their fitness and health.
I think what's really nice about when you see people out on the... Do you call it on the beat?
On the beat,
anymore?
mate. On the beat, yeah.
I think my dad used to do that, the main street of Campbelltown.
That's right, because your dad was a cop.
And he went to Goulburn.
Yes.
He was at the academy down there. And I have to say, I do have quite fantasies of doing it myself.
You should do it.
Never too late, Kate.
Did you ride
exactly, and now I could grab $30,000.
Did you ride in the back of the police car, Kate?
I think, yes, I've done
quite a
that.
few
And I used to go down and visit Dad at Campbelltown Police Station after school. But what I'm saying is, I think now when you see people, police officers, if that's what I'm meant to be calling them, out and about, they're the every person now, like men and women and tattoos and heights and shapes and sizes and cultures. And I think that's what's really nice, because I'm sure that a lot of people, when you're calling the police and you have someone turn up at your door, you don't want them just to be that one
part of the community.
brand of person. You know?
We're really a reflection of our community, so which is great. I love it.
Sam's in Tarramara. Sam, a question for the Commissioner.
Yes, Commissioner. Obviously, I know speeding is a pretty big no-no, but I wanted to know if there's any excuses that the police will accept, but if you're speeding, if you've got like a wife going through labour or you're busting to the toilet, you need to get home and you get caught speeding, is there anything that will sort of, you just get a slap on the wrist but not a fine? Anything that the police will accept?
No, really, there's no such thing as safe speeding. Police do have discretion, but speeding is the number one killer on our roads, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's almost 50% of road fatalities is through speeding.
Is it increasing? Our fatality
it's
out of rate?
concerning for me because of the number of speeding deaths, but also the speeds that some of the officers are catching people doing. I just really can't fathom why people need to drive that fast.
There's just been that campaign, though. Sorry, where they were. I mean, the whole point of the campaign was not the big high speed car chases, but I'm just going over. I'm just 5 k's over, or I'm just 10 k's over. Like, because we can all be guilty of that. I mean, not me, of course.
Never.
But even just that tiny
every K counts, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Really?
There you go.
And if you actually try to stop, a vehicle tries to stop at the speed limit, that's hard enough. Let alone, 5 kilometres over. That actually makes it more difficult.
No, well, thank you, Police Commissioner. You are for your protection of us and around the state. I know how hard you guys work, and thank you for the tour that we had as well. But if you want to join the police force, make sure you go onto their website, and like we said before, they will pay you $30,000 across the 16-week training regime in Goulburn. Hopefully, you get a few more recruits. We appreciate your time, Karen.
Thank you.
Thanks
it's great to be here.
No
Thanks,
worries,
Commissioner.
Thank you.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.